Hello and welcome back to this new esports stream. Tonight we are going to be playing some League of Legends, and I'm joined here with my friend commentator Joe. How you doing?
Good. You go to really good tonight. I'm very excited for this game, hoping that we're going to see some crazy fights.
Oh yeah. I'm very excited too. We are going to be playing against Alvernia University Gold, and we are. I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched here in the series right now. So it's going to be a pretty close game, what it looks like at least. Um, and we are going to be going into draft here in a second. But before we go off into this draft, I think that our team is maybe looking for a kind of front to back comp. In general, I mean, it's kind of our play style. It's what we go for a
Yeah,
lot. So,
we
um,
usually do like those early ganking junglers with those mid-game scalers,
yeah.
with like Victor. And the last game we saw crazy Pike, Pike ADC, that was crazy. But a Zoe band, very interesting. Seraphine band from Alvernia as well.
Yeah, those are pretty interesting bands. I we might have been targeting their mid laner there with the Zoe ban. The Zaya ban, I feel like Zaya isn't really good right now, but I think she's really good at disengage, and she's a
Yeah.
pretty safe ADC to pick there in the bot lane. Um,
Well, it looks like they banned out Pike. They might have saw our last game and got
yeah,
a little bit scared.
I we have a couple notorious Pike players on our team, so that
Yeah.
makes sense for the Pike ban there. But also the Seraphine ban, I feel like is also disengage or kind of wombo too. You could play as wombo. But then the Samir ban, all three bans from Alvernia are going to be targeted at the bot lane here from SNHU.
Interesting, very interesting. Oh, Heimerdinger?
Oh, oh, that is a nice hover.
We gonna see Heimerdinger support maybe?
No, this is a joke.
Oh,
Yeah,
damn. That's
yeah.
sad.
I saw straight through it. I saw straight through it.
I didn't.
Can't fool me, Jeff.
Yeah, I think it's interesting though that Albernia banned Samira because we've seen Proma do pretty good on Samira in the past, but I feel like it's not necessarily his main ADC. That's not really his main choice.
What, Samira?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like he's comfortable on Samira, and he also pops off on Samira.
Yeah, no, he
So,
does pop off. But the Syndra picked up, that's pretty good mid laner, picking that control mage. Definitely a high prio pick in the matchup, and it's good to take it away from Toxic. But I could see Toxic picking up like Victor to just, do sort of the same thing in the match, really pick up those late game scalers. But I'm not sure about the matchup of Syndra into Victor. Seems like they pick Aatrox into Ornn. It's going to be maybe not a wet noodle fight in the top lane.
yeah, Aatrox is going to be looking to kind of get a lead here in the top lane. I feel like Aatrox is pretty okay into Ornn. He's good at stopping him from getting away,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, because I feel like that's one of Aatrox's trademarks, too. But as well as that, just out of lane, I feel like Ornn performs better in a team fight. But Aatrox definitely has that side lane potential that Ornn doesn't really have as much of.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like Aatrox is more of sort of like he's going to win top lane, and Ornn's basically going to win by proxy through his ult and through his
Hmm.
items that he gives other players. So, we'll see probably Aatrox win in laning, but maybe Ornn might do, more overall to help his team. See a Sejuani picked up, which could rarely you see it support, but I've seen a couple people play it in place of Leona, but we're going to see probably a Trundle come out. I think Trundle's demon into SNHU's comp. Trundle ult on Ornn is very powerful, especially into Sejuani as well.
Yeah, Trundle is notorious to kind of counter Sejuani there in the jungle, so
Yeah.
I agree that Trundle is definitely a very good pick here, picked up from Alvernia. But also we have the Victor coming out from SNHU. It's kind of an even matchup, Syndra and Victor in the
Yep.
mid lane. But I definitely think Victor might have a more favorable late game than Syndra here.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the numbers, but I would definitely say Victor's probably has a better late game. Both characters kind of work in weirdly similar ways, with the both sort of scaling off, killing minions and poking, both having sort of the ability to just scale. But right now we're going to see a Draven and a Caitlyn ban. Have we seen Proma play Draven yet?
I don't think we have. I don't. I think they might just be banding for like a strong bot lane, because that might be
Yeah.
what SNHU is looking for here, and they're banning a lot of strong bot laners. So the pool that SNHU has to pick from for the bot lane here is going to be pretty limited going into the second phase here. But we also ban out the Caitlyn. I feel like that was pickable by us, but also their bot lane probably played it, and Caitlyn and Karma are both really annoying bot laners to deal with.
Yeah,
Especially Caitlyn. I feel like Caitlyn's one of the best ADCs in the game right now. So
yeah, Caitlyn just has insane poke and outranges a lot of the, you know, traditionally good AD carries right now. Looks like Alvernia is picking up Sivir. We could maybe see promo. I don't know if he plays Varus a lot, but we could see like a Varus counter to Sivir.
the problem I feel like with that is we didn't ban Yumi.
Oh,
They
we did not ban
they
Yumi.
might pick Yumi.
Ooh, Renata, Varus.
It's good.
That's good, but maybe who else works with Renata pretty well?
Kalista works with.
Oh yeah,
Renata.
Callisto, Renata.
We would have pretty good team fight with the Kalista.
He might. Seems interesting.
Ooh, the
A
Vayne.
Vayne coming
Okay.
out.
The Vayne makes sense too.
Okay, definitely makes sense sort of in the matchup. Vayne will also do a very good job at countering Aatrox because Vayne's true damage is based off health, not armor.
And Trundle.
Yeah, and Trundle as well.
Especially with Trundle, after he pillars you, you just have to play around the pillar because you can you can EM into that pillar. So
Ooh,
bot
Silver.
lane is going to be pretty much ungankable. I mean, of course there's always a way, but I mean it's going to be hard for Trundle to actually pull something out here. But the Sivir Lulu lane, I feel like it's pretty safe. So I feel like it might just be kind of a stalemate. We might look at more of a dominant mid lane play here throughout the game, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. I would agree with that. It seems like even though Alvernia tried to get, you know, the best bot lane matchup possible, SNHU does have so many different characters under their belt that they were able to make something work.
Yeah, for sure. But that concludes our draft there. So I think we're going to throw to a quick break before we get into game here. And we'll be back and be able to talk about the draft a little bit too before the game starts. So we will see you in a bit.
See you in a bit.
So, welcome back. We are going to get into game here shortly. But what do you think of the draft here so far?
So I think that traditionally, like if you look at what the current state of the meta is, I think SNHU has the worst team. But knowing SNHU's players, I think they're definitely more comfortable on these champs. We've seen them played a lot. You know, we've seen Vayne before, we've seen Ornn, we've seen Victor basically leg half of the time.
Hmm.
So I think that SNHU does have the ability to come back in the game, and I definitely think that they do outscale.
Yeah.
But it's really about getting to that scaling point because Trundle's going to be a problem in the early game.
So we could see a pretty slow game here from SNHU, but also if they have the opportunity, they probably won't be afraid to pounce on it. Getting any of
Yeah,
these laners
definitely.
ahead is probably going to be pretty devastating.
Yeah.
But same thing here. I feel like we could see the Alvernia play through top here, but we are going to go straight into game.
So really what I'm expecting to have, like, so we've seen C-Monsters play Sejuani before. We've seen him go sort of into the bot lane and just try to get off those quick, easy ganks by going through the bushes. And I think we're probably going to see that again. I think C-Monsters might, like, maybe counter gank top side, but not really proactively gank it. I feel like he's more going to play towards bot side of the game. As you know, getting Vayne ahead's really good. Renata is kind of fine whether she's down or up. She's got her ult, which is like half her character. But really what I'm looking to see is Alvernia's Trundle. I feel like Trundle's going to be sort of the deciding factor in this game. You definitely have, you know, some counter with Vayne and with Pillar, but Trundle absolutely shreds Sejuani and Ornn, so I could see it being a problem in the future.
Yeah, that's why I feel like we could see them playing through top lane here. Definitely the Trundle is going to be able to do a lot of damage to this Ornn, and I feel like one of the main objectives, if you get Aatrox ahead, he's going to be devastating in team
Yeah.
fights. But same with the mid lane. I feel like if either mid lane is not really given enough attention, just like a even mid lane, I feel like Toxic is going to be a problem, right?
Yeah, I can definitely see that as well. Really what we can see from SNHU is sort of any real playstyle. Their champs, you know, Vayne and Sejuani are sort of more going in type of characters, but they can play back as well. Vayne has her E, he has Q, or she has Q for peel, and you know, Sejuani's ult can be used defensively as well. And with Renata, I feel like SNHU wants to play this more back, which definitely lends to Victor's playstyle rather than Syndra, because Syndra wants to stop people from engaging. You know, she's a counter-engage character, but on a team that's mostly looking to go in, I feel like it's not necessarily the best, and I could see Victor out-damaging and really being more useful in most situations.
Right, and it seems kind of like this Sivir Lulu is going to be a little bit stronger than we expected. They might have Prio a lot of the time here. And Jump
Yeah.
Force are just finishing up their having right now. At least one side of it, Seamonsis is going to walk into the mid lane here. The E is going to cancel his dash there, and True Prophet is going to be safely at his tower there. Seamonsta is now looking for the rest of his jungle. They do have a ward in the top side of that jungle, and I feel like I don't know if it'll spot him here, but they already know that he's going towards that top side there. So Trundle is going to be working with this vision or this kind of information. I feel like he could be looking at a counter gank here in the top lane if he is fast enough, and it kind of like Shu Hao is in a position to be ganked right now, right?
Yeah, definitely. I could see, well, you know, we see Trundle sort of going for Scuttle Crab right now, really playing around topside, so we might just see sort of a footsies
Ooh, or
around.
an invade with the prio they got from Chu Hao here. However, I think they're just going to see that all of his camps are gone here, and they know he's on his wolves, maybe? So
Yeah.
they still know pretty much exactly where he is. Um, and most of Alvernia's lanes kind of have prio right now. But that's not going to stop Sea Monsters from moving through the river here and trying to set something up. True Prophet's going to try to get vision in that mid bush or that river bush there. However, he might not know that Sea Monsters is wrapping around, or not wrapping around. He is on the top side of the map still.
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, we might see a gank come out from CMOS is really playing around vision right now. If he can get something good from the Ornn, any sort of knock-up or anything really, we could see a gank come through. Just flashes, just straight up flashes. Really predicting that CMOS was still on top side. Um, so that was very well played by Shuhao. But one thing that I might like to see is some bot pressure alleviation because Sivir Lulu is kind of just completely dominant into Vayne, at least at the moment right now. Vayne doesn't have as good wave clear because Sivir has her chakras that sort of bounce off minions. So there is that.
Yeah, Promo's not really having that much of a problem to farm here, but a little bit of a trade is going to come out here. Pengu is just out trading Promo, though. It is not going to be in favor of SNHU there, and Pengu is going to retain this pressure that they have on the bot lane.
Yeah, you know, it's really hard to play, especially into Sivir Lulu this early. Vayne doesn't really have the scaling she needs to do a lot.
Yeah.
It's a difficult
Dragon's
situation. Dragon is up.
and they are pushed into tower here. And we see Trundle walking through the lane here. They could bait it. They don't know that Sejuani's there, but they could be looking at the counter gank here. Ratchakos is just going to walk into this try, put that control down. See sea monsters there. They're going to be able to clear that. But the junglers are at the moment are kind of just playing footsies right now.
Yeah, definitely. It's really just back and forth. I think CMOS is doing a pretty good job at really getting there before Trundle gets there to go for a gank. I wouldn't actually expect Sejuani to clear this quickly. Syndra stole a small raptor. That's kind of funny. But CMOS still gets his camps.
Ooh, I'd be careful walking through here.
Yeah, that was a bit scary.
They do have that ward there in the raptor den.
Yeah. Right now, I think really what might be happening is just like out farming, trying to really do anything against Alvernia's comp by just sort of waiting. As we mentioned before, SNHU has more scaling, so we could see some of that come through in the late game. SNHU is definitely playing this well, taking it slow. No one's died yet, which is definitely good, especially with Trundle being such a good early game ganker.
Yeah, Trundle is pretty good at this early game here. He's going to get his ult, though, and it is going to be even better, I feel like, into some of these lanes, including Schwartz here. But CMonsters is moving up through here. They spot him there. The ult comes out from Ornn. It is going to connect, and there comes the knock-up, and first blood goes to Schwartz right there.
That was very well played. CMOS is really knowing the perfect time to go up top side, and that Ornn ult coming out at the perfect angle to slow Aatrox. Very well played, but it looks like we might see Rakos going bot side, maybe trying to invade Krugs or maybe looking for a gank.
Yeah, Toxic's going to deal a lot of damage there to True Prophet. He is looking pretty low. He might have to back here. But Ratchakos is going to be able to get that red buff. And he might be looking at mid lane now.
Yeah, definitely. Toxic is pretty pushed. This is such a scary situation, especially with Pillar. But Syndra's looking so low. If she even goes up a little bit to try to get this kill, there wasn't enough damage. Trundle couldn't trunk down Victor quick enough without Syndra there. So Toxic, knowing really his limits, knowing that Trundle couldn't do as much damage in that situation, very well played.
Right, and we see some proactive kind of warding there from Schwartz, getting that control ward into the jungles, trying to predict the counter jungle coming out from Ratchakos. They spot him out there with that pink, and he's going to be able to clear that, but he also might be able to get this blue buff. But will it matter as much as the pressure that CMonsters is going to be able to create on the bot lane right now?
Yeah, definitely. Ooh, looks like they might be going for a top side, maybe dive. No, it looks like they're just going for Herald right now. But it looks like they're split mapping the game right now. Maybe CMonsters might go for a gank bot side to try to make up for the fact that they're going to lose Herald. But yeah, this is a interesting situation. It's very difficult for AUG right now because SNHU is ahead and AUG has a more early games sort of focused comp. So it's gonna be interesting as the game goes on.
Right, we see CMonsters counter jungling there. I think he knows that Ratchakos is on the Herald. He saw that Herald fall, and now he might just go straight towards the dragon, but two players from SNHU are coming up to True Profit right now. Ratchikos is there for the counter gank, but he might underestimate how many people are actually going to show up here. The ultimate comes out from C-Monsters there, and True Profit just flashes out. Get the stun on Toxic. He is slowed. Ratchikos is still going in. True Profit is getting chunked by the ultimate, not able to follow up. And the slow goes out on Ratchikos, but he's still able to get out of there. That ultimate providing a lot of armor to Ratchikos.
Yeah, that was very well played. Ornalt coming out. They might be. Oh, they are
The
just able to kill True
flash
Profit.
with the damage. Toxic just actually shredding down True Profit there is going to be able to get another kill on the board for SNHU.
That was very well played. SNHU's really doing a good job taking any advantage they can get. Orn roaming down at that time was just perfect. Very well played by SNHU.
Right, yeah, Schwartz knowing the timing there, being able to roam down with that wave push. I think he has enough of a lead here on Aatrox to be able to just pressure the lane a little bit. He's got that Bramble Vest, but we haven't really seen the state of it. At least we saw, we saw the wave pushed up there. He was able to get that roam out. I wasn't sure if it was off of reset. I wasn't really paying attention. But this bot lane is still pushed up. The Sivir Lulu is going to be kind of a problem here. The CS is starting to add up. He has 5 on promo here, but I feel like the pressure is really what matters here. If they're trying to go for this dragon, which it might not look like it right now, but Ratchikos is backing right now. He might head down to the bot side right now. And True Profit has the Scuttle Crab right there, and it's going to be able to provide a little bit vision if they want to sneak it.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be very, useful for AUG to get the dragon, because they are behind right now, so it's really good if they trade for objectives. But it looks like CMOTS is actually going to go into the bush. They might just be able to spot him out, though. It looks like CMOTS has got in effectively. He's actually going to go behind. Might go for some sort of crazy play here. His ult is up, so looks like the wave push just a little bit too fast.
Ratchikos might be looking to put the Rift Herald down here in the mid lane. Get a little bit of gold for True Profit. Make up for that lead that CMOS was able to get Toxic there. But we have two players, Pancake and CMOS, coming up through the pink ward here. Is going to be get the ult off on True Profit again. The QE comes out, is going to be able to slow down CMOS a lot. Will Ratchikos be able to slow him down enough? It looks like it might not be enough. Toxic just barely going to be able to get that Q off, and CMOS secures this kill with his W there.
Yeah, that was definitely well played by SNHU, really bringing up players at the perfect time. They saw the Rift Herald go down, and they wanted to really get something off of that play, realizing that True Profit would feel pretty comfortable up. But it looks like right now AUG is going for Dragon.
Yeah, chasing that farm might not be the best thing there. Ratchikos is going to be able to get that Dragon up, but Toxic has the Ghost, is just going to be able to Ghost over there. Get that E off on Ratchikos.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, what I'd look out for is that mid lane now has Lost Chapters, so I feel like mid lane's going to be a lot more volatile at the moment. And Sivir is actually currently up up Mythic on Vayne. Right now, Vayne only has Noon Quiver and Vamp Scepter, so we might see sort of plays coming out from bot side.
Right, Sivir does have that Kraken Slayer. It's going to be a little bit of damage here. And Shuhao is slow pushing this top lane. He might be looking for a roam maybe or a dive. But he does have that pressure in the top lane still. It doesn't really matter though. Schwartz is just going to be able to weather the storm and just, play safe. He has that lead, so he won't really die, I feel like, to Shuhao unless he messes up.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ornn's a big boy. Ornn's a real big ram, so he's going to be able to tank a lot. Unless they go for like a perfect dive with Trundle ult and like Aatrox ult, I feel like they're not going to be able to do a lot to Ornn with how much CC he has. It looks like Schwartz is also doing a good job at trading with Aatrox, not really going down too much. Aatrox definitely winning at the moment, but Schwartz is doing a decent job.
I feel like CMOS has done a pretty good job at tracking Trundle here and beating him to the punch on a lot of things. And a perfect example of that is watching him walk through that mid lane there and seeing him try to contest that Scuttle Crab and using the Scryer's Bloom after to kind of confirm his suspicions there. Toxic is half health right now with True Prophet. Is going to be able to pop that ultimate, but it goes a little bit slower than True Prophet is moving right now. It is not fast enough to really deal with him. And we see Ratchika's approaching the mid lane right now, but Toxic is just looking for that reset. However, on the other side of the map, Seamonsters is in the top lane, and Schwartz is going to be able to perfectly bait him over to Seamonsters, land a full combo, and that Ram is just going to take him out, knocked out for the night.
Yeah, this is going to be... Oh, it looks like Toxic's actually getting engaged on right now. True Prophet does use the ult, but Toxic does use the Zanyas.
Yeah, that Zanya is coming in clutch there, going to be able to save Toxic's life. True Prophet, looking pretty low now, is also going to have to reset.
You know, that watch is a lifesaver. Getting that Rolex on deck is really what you want to do.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Chroma is taking a lot of damage here from Pengu. The damage from Pengu is starting to add up now, as well as the CS. It is now a 30 CS lead.
Ratchikos is coming from behind. Might look for a dive here.
This is
such a
very big dive angle. The teleport comes out from Schwartz. Will he be there in time?
Stun.
The stun from Pancake Man on Ratchikos, and the double knockup from Schwartz is going to be able to sway the team fight in a very good direction for Alvernia. Alvernia is just cleaning up McFluff now, and they might have enough here. W from Seamonsters is going to go a little bit wide, and McFluff dodges into Proma, giving him the kill there.
The Renata revive saved Proma. That was insane. That was just well played by SNHU, getting the perfect stun onto Sivir while the spell shield was down, and then Seamox is coming in from behind to counter gank there. It was very well played. It looks like AUG is actually bleeding a lot right now, sort of just losing off of each play that they make just a little bit at a time.
Yes, SNHU seems to have kind of the perfect response for each of the plays that Alvernia wants to make here. They are going to lose that, or it's almost dead, that bot tower there. Shu Hao is going to be able to get a lot of damage off on the turret here. Schwartz teleporting to that bot lane. But I feel like Schwartz really was the key factor there in turning that bot lane. It was a very nice teleport from him.
Oh yeah, definitely. Ornn really having the teleport prio in the matchup was super, good. It was just a very well counter gank and very well counter play by SNHU. It was scary for a second. I thought Proma might actually die, but the roll away into Sivir pin was so vital.
Shu Hao has Schwartz here for a pretty long time. Ratchikos is going to opt for those Krugs instead, though. I think he might know that a lot of players from SNHU are probably up here in the top lane. Seamonsters, Pancake Man are going to be able to secure that Rift Herald, and they kind of have to play a little bit more reactively now that SNHU has a lead, and I feel like SNHU was playing exactly that way in the beginning of the game, knowing that the Alvernia might have a little bit more of pressure on the mid lane, but McLuff is just going to walk into vision here. Ratchikos getting stunned there, but Pancake Man falls pretty early. The ult coming out, and the revive is not going to be able to do enough. Ratchikos is going to fall a little bit early in the fight there. He gets his ult off, and Seamonsters just melts there. Proma has no more protection here, is going to be stunned by True Prophet there. What a turning fight there for Alvernia.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate by SNHU. When you see Shu Hao come, from mid lane, that was just the end of SNHU right there. That was a perfect flank.
Yeah, and I feel like they are dedicating their resources that they have very efficiently here. We see True Prophet walking up to that top lane. They're going to push it out and be able to get that turret, and they are getting also that dragon off of that fight there.
Yeah, definitely, and I think Hextech Drake is 100% better for AUG's team. Aatrox, Sivir, Syndra, it's very good on all of those characters. So it's going to be definitely scary. Gold definitely evened up in this game right now, a little bit in favor of AUG, but we've seen SNHU sort of come back from this. They do have a little bit better late game scaling, as we mentioned before, so this isn't necessarily the worst as long as they can sort of survive the storm. So, they just have to hold on.
Yeah, I agree. They definitely have the late game here, and they've already secured a pretty good lead here. So I feel like the way they're playing is going to work out for them in the end here.
Yeah, definitely. That was just a very unfortunate fight. Very well played by Shu Hao. But one thing that I would like to mention definitely is that AUG's team and also SNHU's team are a little bit AP favored or AD favored. So we could see a lot of armor items coming out, very good counter. But definitely a lot of healing reduction needed for AUG's team because Trundle heals a lot along with Shuao, and also I think that certain Grievous items. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, but it's kind of a stalemate here in the mid lane. We see the bot lane is now going to put or rotate towards the mid lane here, and that pressure is now going to be transferred towards the mid lane. This tower might fall, and it's going to open up a lot of the map for AUG now that all 3 tier 1s are gone.
Yeah, definitely. AUG is playing really well on their lead right now that they just gained from last fight, using their resources in very smart ways.
Yeah, and I feel like transferring that lead that Pengu has into the mid lane is, we see it all the time, right? Like, it's kind of the macro that you want to do is put your bot lane in the mid lane. It lets your support roam easier to other lanes, and you have your 2 kind of self-sufficient solo laners on the sides here. But also, I feel like this is the main reason here is you have that bot lane, and they are just able to siege so well. Any melee person can't really match it at all. So
Yeah, definitely. I would agree. It looks like is AUG setting up for Baron right now? Might be a fight coming up pretty soon. Rift Herald was dropped on the mid tower. AUG looks like they are coming into mid lane right now, contesting a lot of vision at the moment.
they are poised to go all out here for this tier 1 turret right now. That crash goes out and is not going to be enough to fell the turret. But I feel like SNHU kind of realized at this moment that it might not be worth, if they lose that fight, it could be pretty devastating for them.
Yeah, definitely, and it doesn't even look like they're in the position right now to take a fight. They did have a lot of summoners up, but they need
Toxic very far up right now. That W is going to go wide, and he's flashing out of there.
That was unfortunate positioning from Toxic, not really realizing that AUG had a lot of vision in the area at the time. Looks like AUG still sort of trying to get a fight set up. It looks like they're posturing maybe for a Baron right now. Dragon is up in 1 minute and 25 seconds, so not really on the board for that.
But I feel like everyone is kind of just farming up right now, and that's a really good idea. Proma is closing the gap right now between CS, but I feel like the farming from Pengu is just really good right now.
Yeah, Sivir in general as a character has very good farming potential. She can push waves really, really quick. And Vayne has a little bit harder time in that, and especially with the diff bot lane. Oh, it looks like there might be a gank.
Yeah, they might be looking at a bot lane gank right now. Sea is down there, along with Schwartz. I feel like Shu Hao is drawing a lot of pressure right now, and they could threaten Baron. They are going to go up to it, and I think they've realized this now after dedicating a lot of resources to him. The teleport comes out from Shu Hao, and they already have the Baron started, but
Oh my
Mick
God.
Fluff is just getting bursted there from Toxic. The ult comes out, is going to be able to deal a little bit of damage to Pengu there. He's going to be able to spell shield that ultimate, and they get that Baron. However, the rest of the team has to get out now to be able to secure that. I think they only lost McFluff there, but I feel like that pick is also pretty vital for SNHU to kind of get a gold lead here. They're going to be able to get that mid turret too after they reset.
Yeah, this is definitely, you know, good counterplay by SNHU. They aren't really going to be able to push out mid-wave very well now that it's pushed out. So SNHU did get a lot of sums from that. They still have a lot of sums up, and it looks like they are going to just be able to take Dragon for free. You know, Sivir doesn't have Flash, Heal, Syndra doesn't have Ignite, Trundle doesn't have Flash, Lulu doesn't have Flash. So SNHU was able to pick up the Dragon there, which is definitely needed, as it could have been soul point if AUG got that.
Yeah, it would have been pretty devastating if AUG got that. I feel like that's really good damage control there from SNHU. Not just giving up that Baron, but also trading it for a tower kill and Dragon. So very efficient macro there. Shu Hao's going very far, going to get that Blast Cone. Almost at the cost of his life there, but they are sieging this top turret right now. It is going to fall very quickly. And I feel like just working as a 5 here, they might be able to get a lot done on these tier 2s.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be hard for SNHU to do anything against it without using a lot of summoners or ults because unless you can get Ornalt out or some type of pick, SNHU is a bit behind in the game. You know, they are at a 2,000 gold deficit,
But
but
Pengu's out of position here. The ult goes out from McFluff. He is not going to fall there. The ultimate is still chasing him. He's pretty low. Ratchiko's on the other side of the map, though. Very Split is going to fall there.
looks like SNHU is still trying to push a fight right now. They might.
Ooh.
It looks like they do manage. AUG does manage to get out, but picking up Ratchiko's there, it completely stopped the push, and it was such a vital pick.
Yeah, they got that pick there on Ratchiko's. It's going to be pretty big, and it mostly shutting down the Baron buff, but they're going to be able to 4-man siege this mid turret. They only have 3 people available to dedicate there. Schwartz is going to contest Shu Hao here in the side lane. I think Shu Hao is going to be able to just push up there, but not really siege. You can't really do a lot against Ornn there. He's kind of an unmovable force. But Shu Hao now rotating for a flank here is going to ult, looking for Toxic here. Sea-Monsters peeling for him. That is a big Q from Sea-Monsters there, going to be able to save Toxic's life. And Pengu is going to backlash there, but I mean, Sea-Monsters is just so tanky right now with that Thornmail, realizing that they're going into a mostly AD team here.
Yeah, definitely. That was very well played by Sea-Monsters. Being able to disengage for Toxic in that moment was very vital. SNHU's done a really good job at countering this Baron push, which we haven't really seen in a lot of these games. Baron is usually kind of a deciding factor, but this game's really close. Like, weirdly close compared to a lot of the games we've seen where it's sort of like one side's ahead and then the other side's ahead for a bit, you know, flip-floppy type games.
It is a pretty close game right now. And I feel like the later the game goes on, we might be underestimating Syndra here. She does have Banshee's Veil right now, kind of a defensive item, but I think that Alternator is going into a Shadow Flame, and she has, oh, it's gone.
It's gone?
The Dark Seal is gone. The 4-stack Dark Seal is gone, and it has been replaced with a Shadow Flame, which is going to be pretty devastating for a lot of members of SNHU, since Renata is shielding a lot of them. Victor has a shield, and that is going to give Pen for Syndra here. And we haven't really seen the full potential of Syndra late game yet, really.
Yeah. One thing that I would like to mention about Syndra and Victor, though, is that Syndra's ult is a lot harder to, you know, proc because of the conditional nature of it. Syndra has to have a lot of her balls sort of out on the map, while Victor can sort of just poke you down with ease or just nuke you, you know. So
Right.
it's a lot easier for Victor to do a lot of his stuff, but as mentioned before, Syndra has good counter engage, so she's a little bit more utility-based. Victor does... Oh, it looks like they might actually...
Shu Hao is just laying on Sea-Monsters here. However, he doesn't know that there's only 4 people here. Schwartz is not here. He does have teleport available, so this could be a pretty good siege here. SNHU's going to be able to get that outer turret. And now all outer turrets for SNHU are gone, or for AUG.
Yeah, SNHU really knowing that they could pressure their advantage there, realizing that not a lot of AUG's team was set up to counter that push, was very smart. Dragon is up in 45 seconds, though, so this is going to be a scary situation for Sea-Monsters, barely getting on the opposite side of that pillar. He might still get chased down. Actually doesn't.
Yeah, AUG doesn't really have enough follow-up there. They could have Sivir ulted, but it is forcing it big time there if they Sivir ultimate there. I think SNHU is going to be able to have enough time to respond here, get to this Dragon that is going to be spawning in 20 seconds. Both teams are poised, and Ratchiko's is on the flank here. Pancake Man almost getting stunned there. True Prophet still has his Banshee's Veil. Teleport coming out from Shu Hao. He's not going to be on the flank here. And out of position, McFluff is going to fall very early into the fight. Schwartz's dash gets canceled there. Sea-Monster is very low. He has to revive. Shu Hao popping that Zhonya's. It might not be enough. Many members from SNHU are so low right now, but True Prophet isn't going to be able to really clean up enough here.
Proma and Victor, Toxic, just absolutely melted their entire team. You know, you see Victor get Aatrox so low, and then you just see Proma sort of just run around their entire team, just slowly melting them as the fight went on. Very well played by SNHU, especially to pick McFluff there, as Lulu Aatrox is kind of scary just because of the shielding that you can give, the extra sustain to Aatrox, and, you know, the faster auto attack speed to Sivir. So very well played by SNHU.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the competition that they have. It is pretty team fight favored. But I think if Lulu does make it through that fight and has the ultimate available, it would be pretty even there.
Yeah,
SNHU definitely was able to get that lead though, and they now have a 0.5k gold lead on AUG. It is just so close still though.
so Victor with 3 Infernal Drakes, right?
Right.
We could see that in the future. We could see Victor legitimately one-shot Pengu or McFluff. So if SNHU is able to pick up another dragon, that would be absolutely terrifying. It's just so good for SNHU's team because of just the burst that they have with Victor and Vayne. But it looks like Schwartz might get caught out here.
Flash going to come out there. The Polymorph is going to be able to land there. And he finds that knockup on True Prophet. A pretty good knockup, but CMOS
no.
is very extended right now. Ratchetco's on the ultimate is just going to melt him. That ultimate is just so devastating to tanks there. And I think they are ready to go to Baron right now. They pinged on the way there, and we're having a little bit of technical difficulties here. I think the game might have crashed there.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate.
What we can expect from that, though, is I think that they get that Baron there. They got the pick on CMOS as their jungler, so it's not looking very good for SNHU in regards to that Baron. However, we will be back with the game as soon as possible. I think we are going to send to a quick break to try to find out what's going on. So we'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. We are back from that break. Sorry for the inconvenience there, the technical difficulties. The computer
Yeah.
crashed and we just couldn't recover the game. But Alvernia won that game shortly after. So the record right now is Alvernia 1, SNHU 0. But we are going to go into draft here in a second. But just a quick reflection on that game. I feel like SNHU really did a good job of running it for the first half there.
Yeah.
They definitely had a big lead, but Alvernia really found an opening there to be able to get their
Yeah.
kind of own foothold there in the mountain that was that game.
From the back talk from some of the SNU players that I was overhearing, it seems like that they weren't necessarily playing around Vayne as much as they should have.
Mm.
They're talking about how they engaged a lot of fights 4v5, and Vayne was sort of in the very, very, very back, way too far away to engage in the initial startup. So it caused a lot of damage to not really come through when they were losing the fights.
Yeah.
And especially when Schwartz died at the end there, or sorry, CMOS has died in the fight at towards the end there. Promo wasn't really around, and it was just very difficult. So that's really what I heard from the players in the back. It might have been a fight sort of later on that we didn't get to see that they were mentioning that about, but that's what they were talking about.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we didn't get to look at the damage that game, but I
Yeah.
feel like the damage was there when Vayne was in that fight.
Yeah, definitely.
But other than that, I feel like they played it pretty well. But we're going to go into draft here. Is ready, and we have the first two bans out. Alvernia is going to ban that Seraphine and the Samira again. They might just stick with the same bans here for SNHU after winning that game, but SNHU is going to also mirror those two bans there. Might stick with the exact same bans again, and they're going to opt out there for that silver ban.
Yeah,
I think that's a good choice.
I could see SNHU maybe trying to pick up a Caitlyn, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Because Samira is banned out right now. Caitlyn's such a good character, but for really any team comp, like she has the ability to go in, get out, poke from afar. She's such a good ADC in the meta right now. I'm really wondering what SNHU chooses because they could choose like an Ornn or they could just choose Victor right now to counter Syndra because Victor I felt like wasn't necessarily the problem in that game. But it looks like they're just going to first pick Ornn, which I don't really know about that because Aatrox is on the table, and they don't really have the ability to ban Aatrox. Coming out with a Nautilus, though, I'm unsure as to what that's for. I
So
could be Kai'Sa? Kai'Sa Nautilus?
yeah, they could be looking for the Kai'Sa, and they could pick that for their third pick there. But Alvernia is going to start off strong with that Syndra there. They might just run it back, honestly. With
Yeah.
the Aatrox pick there into the Ornn is a pretty good pick, and there's the Trundle.
I
Exact same three first champions there from Alvernia.
Yeah, I feel like Alvernia feels like they don't really need to switch things up. They definitely lost the early game, but I feel like that was just due to, SNHU getting a lot of good roams. But it looks like Kai'Sa Nautilus is coming out, as we mentioned before. It looks like Promo is prioing Kai'Sa over Caitlyn, which is definitely better with a Nautilus, but I'm unsure about that. I'm wondering what they're going to ban. So they banned out Sivir, which really loses the... Oh, Caitlyn's actually probably the best ban here, yeah. But Sivir really gets rid of Yuumi and Lulu. There's not really someone else you play with them, so you could pick like Varus or Kalista. But I feel like Varus wouldn't be the best into Nautilus Kai'Sa, at least later in the game, just
Yeah.
due to Kai'Sa being able to dive on top of Varus really easily. One thing that I am still scared about is the Trundle. I could see like... Well, we did see CMOS's play Rammus. Banning out the Victor, ooh, that's such a blow to Toxic. Toxic does have Xerath, so it's also really good, but...
I feel like this is a pretty adaptive draft compared to the last draft that we saw. We saw Alvernia just completely ban out the bot lane there in those first 3 bans. And then the second 2 bans, they also banned out that bot lane. And they didn't have it picked in the first 3 waves, so it was very difficult for SNHU to actually find a winning bot lane into whatever Alvernia wanted to pick, because most of the
Yeah.
strong picks were banned there. And they had the first pick of Sivir for that bot lane. But going into this draft, they do manage to pick out their bot lane in those first 3 picks there. So there aren't going to be enough bans to really target out that bot lane. They already have their picks. So now they're just going to be focused on the jungle and the mid lane here with the Victor and Kayn ban. And I really like the look of Nautilus Kai'Sa.
Yeah, I think Nautilus Kai'Sa is definitely good. We see the Xerath come out as usual. That's pretty good. I feel like that's also a winning matchup into Syndra because Xerath can poke from a bit afar, but I'm not exactly a mid lane player, so I'm not 100% sure. Just my speculation.
So I feel like in that lane, Xerath doesn't. You have to work really quickly, because as soon as you give Syndra a little bit of time, if you spend longer than a second charging your Q, she's gonna stun you. So.
Okay, I could see how that would be an issue, but Braum coming out, that's a bit filthy. Braum Varus, that's gonna be pretty scary. Braum's a very good counter engage character, and I'm unsure what really the answer to Trundle might be. Maybe Rammus. I could see Rammus. Zach's always an option, but I feel like Zach doesn't do very well into Olaf. I feel like Rammus might have been a better choice just because of Aatrox and Trundle.
I really like the Olaf, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna have this very immobile ADC in the back there, along with Syndra, and they're gonna throw everything onto the front line of SNHU, and Olaf's just gonna walk through it, right?
That's true.
The Verisol's gonna come out, walk through it. The QE from Syndra, walk through it. The
Yeah.
Bramble, walk through it.
I could see, yeah, I could, oh my god, that's actually filthy with Kai'Sa ult as well. Getting like a Nautilus ult on a Syndra or Varus, and then just having Olaf run in. Yeah, I could see how that's actually a lot better than Rammus in this matchup.
Yeah, it's hard for Trundle and Aatrox to actually get from the front line to the back line there, so they could play it just completely however they want it with the Kai'Sa Olaf.
Yeah.
And also Xerath has that global pressure of the ultimate where he can just impact a fight from wherever he wants.
Oh yeah, definitely. This is actually a way better draft from SNHU than I initially thought. I think this, except for Trundle, I still think Trundle does really good into Ornn and might be able to outdo Olaf a little bit in the early game. I'm really only worried about the Braum, but even then, it's not like you have a misfortune that Braum like hard counters. So, yeah, I think SNHU is a little bit in the lead in the draft.
Yeah, definitely. I really like the looks of both these drafts here. I'm excited to get into game, but before that, we are going to go to a quick break for the spectator delay. So we will be right back.
Be right back.
Soon.
At some point.
Yeah.
So how's your day going?
Maybe we aren't going to a break.
Maybe we aren't going to a break.
We can hold.
We
It's
can
fine.
hold. So a little bit of my thoughts in this game. I personally, as a player, value Braum a lot higher than most people.
Okay, we're back. And we are going to go into games shortly here. Let's talk about that draft a little bit more before we do.
So, yeah, as I was mentioning before I got cut off by the break, which I'm assuming was just mistimed, but I think that if Braum can land a Q, on bot lane, it's going to be really hard for the bot lane to play. I don't think Varus really pairs well with Braum late game. I think it's going to be hard, like, early laning phase, but I think if SNHU can get through the early laning phase of bot lane, I think they just absolutely destroy AUG's comp. As you mentioned before, I didn't really see this in the beginning, but what you mentioned is that, you can really lock someone down, and then Olaf can just kind of walk through the entire team and just go onto the back line, whether that be the Syndra or whether that be the Varus, because Varus is very immobile. I could see that being extremely useful. So I think that SNHU does have the better team fight comp in general. I'm just worried about Trundle and Braum, but I don't think it's too much of a problem.
Right, I feel like the only problem with that Olaf pick there is it's really feast or famine for him.
Yeah.
If you aren't like within like a 3 kill lead or something as Olaf, you're not gonna walk through that team. You are going to be bursted. You're gonna die.
Yeah, 100%. So I think Olaf is better on paper for right now. I think he definitely has better ganks, but I could also see Aramis coming out, which I mentioned before, which is Aramis is also good at getting on the back line pretty easily. But there was really no one to follow up except for Kaisa onto that, because you have Ornn, you don't really have a like carry top laner. So I definitely think Olaf's a bit better for that extra damage. And I think SNHU also has better AP. Syndra's really the only AP on AUG's team, except for if Varus goes AP, but I doubt that into this specific team comp, just because of the Braum. I could see him going attack speed, maybe lethality, but probably not AP.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But we are ready to go straight into game here. We're starting off here, and now AUG is on the blue side. SNHU is on the red side going into this game. So I'm interested to see how they kind of switch it up here, how they're going to play this one. I definitely see a very, very bot lane oriented game here.
Yeah, definitely. Trundle, still have the same matchups from last game where, Trundle could gank topside. Ornn is very squishy, but Ornn can decently get away from Trundle, especially with a pillar up. I think it's more oriented to bot side.
SNHU's looking at a sneaky invade here. They don't have vision, I don't think. And they're walking through that tri-bush. They did spot them all going through there. They're going to be able to have free reign on the top side jungle here for SNHU. They're going to get that ward in on that red buff.
I think this is definitely a good play by SNHU. It's not looking like they're going to try to take the buff. Oh, they might actually go for sort of a bush stack kill box right now, but...
it's a late invade here from SNHU.
This is going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be scary. If SNHU is able to do something here, this is going to be disaster. Oh, it looks like they back off.
Oh, just a little bit of poke.
Zera stacking his mana flow.
Yeah, nothing too special here. They're not looking at anything. But he's going to be able to get that ward that will spot anyone walking to those raptors or towards the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I think we're really going to see is Olaf definitely taking more proactive ganks than CMonsters did in the last game, because CMonsters was playing a little bit more reactionary, especially counter ganking. Oh, Nautilus Q. Ooh, that would have been scary. It looks like Kaisa Nautilus is actually trying to take advantage right now in the early game. Which
Fluff trying his hardest there to get an auto on promo. Pancake just peeled so well there.
That was very well played by Pancake. Pancake really knowing to just push up past the minion wave, because like level 1 you don't have the ability to fight Kaisa as Varus. You don't really have the ability to do a lot as Varus level 1. So yeah, that was very well played by Pancake Man, and even still doing it, he definitely has a hook line onto Varus right now and just really stopping him from getting that. SNHU is going to be able to get bot push, and I see this sort of happening for the rest of the game.
Right, they're going to be able to get that level 2 there. I feel like Nautilus provides a lot more pressure on that level 1 than Bard does, or not Bard, sorry, Braum.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to be able to buy them a lot of pressure going into this lane here.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really, as I mentioned before when I said that I'm a little bit worried about bot lane, I'm more worried about like higher level like 6 sort of towards the like mid to end game of laning phase. But it looks like C-Monsters and also the AUG's jungler is actually roaming up topside. It looks like C-Monsters is just predicting that Trundle's going to try to do something cheeky on Ornn. Because Ornn can't really escape Trundle with the pillar, as mentioned before. He'll just knock up on it, so Ornn doesn't have his easy peel as usual.
Yeah, we didn't really see Ratchikos go for many reactive ganks there, or counter ganks, but C-Monsters is looking at Shuhao here. He might be able to get a gank off, and Schwartz has a lot of CC to be able to connect a gank there. But contrary to that, he's going to be spotted out to by Shuhao in that tri-bush there. Ratchikos is going to be able to get that vision cleared and that bot lane scuttlecraft.
Yeah, I definitely think that this game is going to be played a little bit slow. It seems like both junglers getting spotted out this early was a bit unfortunate. It looks like Ratchikos might actually go into the bot side bush and might be going for a similar play to what C-Monsters has done in the past. So it's going to be a bit scary. Probably the best idea to let AUG push right now and just wait for Ratchikos to leave, because I'm assuming SNHU expects that Ratchikos is in the lane right now. Looks like Olaf might actually be going for a mid gank, but gets spotted out by a ward.
Yeah, they're going to see C-Monsters there. They know where he is, and they know that his top side is probably cleared after that jungle. So Ratchikos is going to do what he will with that information there. Schwartz just building. He's just building under the tower.
Just Chad doesn't even care. Cool guys don't look at explosions. Just chilling. Doesn't even react.
Yeah, he's trading very well with Shuhao here. Shuhao does have a lot more sustain there, but a little bit of a trade going on here. But in the bot lane, there was a flash going out, and Pancake is looking very low. Ratchikos is going to be there for the peel after C-Monsters pops his ghost there for that gank. And now Pancake Man has 112 health there.
Yeah, that's scary. It looked like Ratchikos was just really good at stopping that engage from Pancake Man, but it looks like on top side, Schwartz is actually might be bursted down by Shuhao. Just barely. That is such an unfortunate situation for Schwartz, getting solo boloed.
He got that ignite off at the end there.
Oh, the Hex Slash didn't actually reach far enough, just barely.
That was a cheeky play there. If Pancake connected that, that would have been huge.
Yeah. It's really unfortunate. I could definitely see Trundle or Retros go up topside to really look for just keeping Schwartz down over and over and over again, because Shuhao has teleport up. So they're definitely going to be able to prepare for the dragon. It looks like right now SNHU is resetting, so it looks like AUG is going to have map prio at the moment. And with teleport up from Shuhao, this is going to be a dangerous dragon fight if SNHU tries to fight it. Yeah, but Schwartz is trading out really well.
Yeah, when he's in this neutral phase of the lane, I feel like he's trading really well. And C-Monsters is approaching top lane here. Shuhao has a lot of pressure, but also Ratchikos is nearby. C-Monsters is going to throw out that axe reactively. Shuhao dashing back with the Q is going to be able to land there, healing a lot off of C-Monsters here.
Oh my god.
And he's going to be pulled back to Ratchikos here. Does not have his ultimate, and that pressure from that ultimate from Toxic is just going to be able to be enough to get Ratchikos so low, but Pancake Man.
They tried giving it to Toxic.
Yeah, not going to secure that there, but the Kama is going to be able to secure it. Toxic getting that kill on Ratchikos. Going for a 2-for-1 trade there.
Yeah, that was SNHU got 2 players there, right? Yeah.
Yeah, SNHU got 2 players there. Pancake Man roaming up there.
That was just very well played in general. Pancake Man's doing a lot in this game. We've seen him playing a lot more sort of active than he was in the last game with Renata. I think he definitely played well with Renata. Just as a character, Renata plays a lot more passively.
Yeah, but as everyone's kind of approaching 6 now, it might be a little bit more feasible to actually threaten a dragon play here. And Ratchikos does have, or it will have ultimate. Pancake Man is still looking for these roams here around mid lane, trying to get Toxic a little bit of a lead. If he is going to be able to get that, it will be big. And the Hex Flash channels, True Prophet gonna get rooted there, has the hook available, but that E is going to create a lot of distance between him and Pancake Man. He is going to have to flash out there with the threat of C-Monster's Q there, though.
Oh yeah, definitely. That E was very well placed by True Prophet, but SNHU will be able to pick up the dragon. They just don't have Cryo right now, AUG. They just aren't able to get the dragon. It looks like Pancake Man's doing the same thing as last time, but, you know, decides to Hex Flash out instead. Oh, it looks like Ratchakos is actually inside. Seamonsis is getting extremely low. Looks like SNHU might actually lose the fight here. Varsalt does come out. Looks like, oh, True Prophet is engaging onto Toxic. Toxic does not have the ability to get out at the moment. Does stun True Prophet. It looks like Pancake Man did go down, but the Varus Q is
from
going
downtown.
is going to come out and snipe Toxic. That was unfortunate. They did get the dragon, but they lost 3 players, right?
Yeah, they got the dragon, but they did lose 3 players there. It's going to equate to around like a 2K lead there.
Yeah, that's just sad. Very unfortunate. I think SNHU overestimated how fast that they could clear dragon, and really Ratchakos being able to realize that Seamonsis would be low from that was very smart. He did go in, and Seamonsis just didn't have the ability to get out, and then it was a 2v3 fight. It was unfortunate.
Yeah, it was a weird interaction there with the Verisol. I didn't know how that worked initially, but if you do Varus ult someone and they cleanse, the passive where it spreads to the next person in that circle still applies.
Yeah.
So that's why Pancake Man got rooted there, allowing for the Braum passive to stun him. But meanwhile, Seamonsis is going to pick up a Rift Herald for himself there in the top lane.
So one problem that I'd like to point out for SNHU is exactly who has the kills. So with AUG's team, you know, the 2 carries, Varus debatably and Trundle definitely, have both kills. And that is really good and really scary because Varus being able to just, you know, sort of be in lane, get farm as much as he can, and let Braum move around the map more is very, very helpful. But Schwartz having a kill isn't necessarily as helpful. It's definitely good in laning phase, but towards the end of the game, Ornn with a kill, it doesn't do much more than Ornn just even, you know. Main point of Ornn is just the abilities. Oh, it looks like...
Ooh, a hook there is going to be able to knock up Pengu, and the ult is going to knock both of them up, but Pancake Man is getting traded there. Proma going to be able to play from wherever he wants around that shield, and Pancake Man also falling there. McFluff is going to have to retreat here from Proma.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate for AUG. Proma being able to get the CS and XP from this wave will definitely get him a little bit back in the game. But Varus picking up the kill on Pancake Man is definitely really hard. I think that...
It is more worth for Proma here. He's going to be able to get that gold, but Ratchakos is going to take advantage of that. Seamonsis is expecting it, though. He's already here. He pops his ult in Olaf, a perfect demonstration of why he's so good into Trundle. And the ultimate from the river there is going to be able to secure the kill there, but True Prophet trades it out on Seamonsis with his own ultimate.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Seamonsis just stepped a little bit too far under tower, hoping that he could kill the Braum. Did get Braum's flash, but I don't know if that was necessarily worth it. Oh,
yeah,
it looks like
Proma has not reset yet, and True Prophet has that QE there. The ult is going out on someone, and Proma is going to be able to take down Syndra there. But the kill goes to Nautilus, and now it's just Pengu and Pancake Man left awkwardly in this lane here.
Yeah, it's honestly really hard because you see SNHU go for these really good plays, but it seems like they just are bleeding a little bit like AUG was doing last game, sort of towards the beginning. Every fight seems to be, you know, initially going well, but then they just lose a little bit more, or even go even, which isn't good for SNHU's team. Yeah, it's a hard position to be in.
Yeah, it definitely is, but I do like the looks of the Kraken Slayer on Proma there. It's going to be pretty big damage into this team. There's not a lot of armor to shred there, but Seamonsis is looking in the river. It's going to find McFluff. Ratchiko's there to bail him out, though.
It's a bit weird to me that Kaisa actually has item first, but Kaisa does have 2 kills and 2 assists, so might be pretty even with Pengu. But hopefully SNHU is able to get a little bit back from this. One thing that I would like to mention, which happened earlier in sort of the very beginning of that engage, was that Braum's shield just blocked a lot of Kai'Sa's Q damage.
Until Kaisa ulted around the shield.
Yeah, until Kaisa ulted around the shield.
Seamonsis looking for True Prophet. He's going to get that Q out, and the QE is going to get him off of him there. But I feel like True Prophet definitely has the damage here. They're going to be able to secure that vision, and the E goes on the right side there. He has to pop his ult there. scare factor, as well as the bot lane roaming up. They have vision of that. Just choose to back off, get what they can out of there, and the ult is going out for Toxic. Is going to be able to get True Profit down to like 50 health there.
Yeah, that honestly might have been a kill for Toxic there. We missed a little bit of the start of that engage, but it looked pretty good. Yeah, it seems like right now, really what we're going to have to look out for and watch out for is AUG's bot lane. It looks like Ratchikos is actually roaming down, but does get spotted out by a ward. It's really scary for Proma and Pancake Man right now.
He's looking for the dragon, but pressure is elsewhere on the map right now. Seamonsters has that Rift Herald from earlier, is going to be able to get the first turret for his team here. A lot of gold going on Seamonsters Toxic Schwartz, but they might overstay their welcome here. Seamonsters does not have the ult for this fight here. True Prophet is going to be able to find that kill there, and Schwartz has to be out of there to get out safely.
This is just so unfortunate, but it is very fortunate for AUG. You know, they've been able to really pick up a lot of these leads that they've been getting just from like little interactions at the very end of fights. Even if SNHU wins, they're able to get something in return every single time that something happens. It's very well played from them. They're doing a very good job pushing their advantage and really keeping their lead. Mountain Drake, especially on AUG's team, is very scary. You see that especially with Shuhao. More armor and sustain Aatrox gets, the scarier he becomes. He's just it becomes a ball of death.
Yeah, right. You just can't kill him because he has that armor on top of the healing there. I kind of like the looks of the the first strike is kind of weird into his era, but this Ghost is actually doing a lot of work here for True Prophet.
Yeah, definitely. Ghost on mid lane is something that I've been seeing pop up a lot more recently. It just gives you the ability to really position a lot easier.
Especially with the battle mages here, like Victor and Syndra. Even though Syndra's a little bit more of a control mage, she is still, you know, she spams her abilities.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I would like to mention that you said before is that when Olaf's down, he's not very good. And what we're seeing right now is Olaf not in a position to do a lot.
Canceling that dash, though, but it might not be enough here. Seamonsters is around the corner, is going to be able to throw that Q. It's a warning shot. And the next Q lands. Both ultimates going out on Shuhao here. He is going to fall to Seamonsters. And now they have that pressure in the top lane for that tower. True Prophet reactively going to be able to try to defend it there, but this is threatening Rift Herald, the second Rift Herald of the game too, which is going to be a little bit stronger than the first.
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's just commentator's curse, right? As I'm mentioning, Seamonster's a bit down. You know, gets right back in the game. But it looks like SNHU is going to be able to pick up the second Rift Herald on fights happening mid lane. It looks like they are just going to be able to kill Ratchikos because he pushed up a little bit too far and underestimated how much CC Nautilus had and how much damage Zareth and Kaisa could do.
Yeah, I think he was looking for his ultimate on Nautilus to steal that that armor, but I feel like the true damage on Kaisa Krakenslayer is just a little bit too much. He might have underestimated that.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. One thing that we'll see as sort of the game goes on a bit longer is that Varus with this build is not his main build. It's not his best build.
It's his best build.
It's his best build?
It's his best build. On hit is Varus's best build. It is hard to pilot, but it is his best build.
I feel like going Immortal Shield Bow though isn't necessarily what you want to do, but it's kind of what you have to do into Olaf and into Kaisa.
Right, and it gives you that that lifesteal too. McFluff is just gonna have to flash that there though. Didn't expect the fourth one. Pengu is going to be caught there by Pancake Man. The hook. Seamonster is still going in with this ultimate. True Prophet has that double Q as well. They're dealing a lot of damage, but the Ghost.
I just want to point out that Pengu flashed through Nautilus Q.
Did he?
He did get stunned. He flashed through Nautilus Q in, I think.
Oh, I missed it.
That was. Oh, I've never. Oh, that's very scary by Toxic. I've just never seen anyone do that or that even happen before. That was a bit crazy for me. Pancake Man having to flash out, that was very unfortunate. True Prophet and Shuhao.
Canceling that Q.
This is scary though because you see Seamonsters coming in.
Yes, is over there, and now just peeling for True Prophet here. Proma might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. Pancake Man just getting bursted there.
But
the E going on Proma. He is still prevailing. He is still living, And True Profit is going to have to run there from Seamonsters. Actually, a pretty favorable trade coming out from SNHU there. It's going to even up the tables here.
You know, we see AUG constantly throughout the game just push a little bit more after they lose a fight and then get something in return. This is the first instance that we've seen that it's actually led to an overextension. They pushed a little bit too far and got caught out for it. CMOS's was there and completely ready. So it was very well played by SNHU to realize that they keep doing that after every single time that they lose something, is that they just try to push a little bit further to get something. So very well played. Yeah.
And definitely, I feel like that is going to even up the tables or the scoreboard here a little bit. But it's going to really come down to this next dragon fight.
Yeah.
If SNHU gets these 2 dragons, it's
Oh,
going
no.
to be pretty good for them. But if AUG gets that one, it's going to be even again, and might even be in AUG's favor.
Yeah, definitely. It is gonna be a bit scary, as you know, with
have
this fight.
pressure.
Oh,
Toxic
Ooh.
is going to get caught out there. The ultimate. He has his Zonius to buy time. Pancake and Schwartz right around the corner there. He falls after that Zonius, but Proma going to be able to play from the backline there, actually bursting him, but a little bit too far. Shu Hao is going to just rip through the front line there, and Seamonsters falls shortly after there.
And that's what Aatrox does. That's such a scary position to be in. Aatrox just being able to burn your entire team like that when you're clumped up is just so sad. It looked like SNHU really was just trying to get Prio over the dragon and just got caught out a little bit too early. So, you know, AUG is definitely going to be able to pick up a tower. They're going to be able to pick up a dragon here. And this looks like a very bad situation for SNHU to be in. They're pretty far behind right now.
Yeah, I feel like they felt kind of entitled to a fight there after dropping the Rift Herald. They just
Yeah.
needed to wait a little bit more for that Rift Herald to actually, you know, add up and cause pressure that they have to respond to. But now they're just gonna Hex Gate out of there, I guess.
Yeah.
They might have been a little bit overextended there, but I guess Hexgate just lets you get away with stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Play around Hexgate's very interesting, as it was added a little bit recently. But one thing that I would like to mention as well is even though you see Ratchikos and Seamoths even on items, that's only really, oh, well, it was just picked up. That was only because Trundle had Tiamat. And now he has Titanic Hydra, so this is going to be really scary for SNHU, especially because Trundle's not going the Bork build. He's going a bit tankier to really just defend. It's going to be hard for SNHU to do a lot because the game really relies on Proma and Toxic to get on the back line, and Olaf can't do a lot here in this game because he's behind, as you mentioned sort of towards the start of this. So it's just very hard, and especially with Shu Hao playing Aatrox at such a proficient level and Aatrox being so good in the meta right now, it's a bit difficult.
Yeah, Shu Hao is really creating a lot of pressure here for AUG, but they're really going to have to play around it, play a little bit slower than normal, because Shu Hao does not have teleport.
No.
Schwartz does, and he's going to opt out of that flash there. I don't think they had enough follow-up with the team there to be able to actually follow through with that X flash there. But
Yeah.
they will be able to clear this vision here, and now we see Shu Hao, after pushing that lane, is going to start to walk towards the mid lane here.
Yeah, one thing that I would like to point out is that SNHU...
I think that was a normal flash.
Oh.
No, that was a Hex flash. That was a Hex flash.
Okay. That scared me for a second. I was a little bit scared that was the normal flash, but
If it was, we didn't see it.
yeah, no one saw anything, you know. But Shu Hao might be getting caught out. One thing that I was going to say though is that Ornn does have TP and Shu Hao's barely getting it back up. So sums are on right now, and it looks like a fight might happen pretty soon.
Ooh, the hook going a little bit wide there. Now Pancake Command is really out of position. They don't have that CC on him. He is going to fall very shortly. Shu Hao looking very low and is going to be able to burst down there by Seamonsters, but Trundle trades him out there. Ratchikos is going to be able to do a lot of damage. And now they only have 3 members of SNHU. This Baron is looking very unlikely to contest.
Yeah, this looks like a very hard position for SNHU to be in. They're very far down. AUG is playing really well this game, you know. I definitely like their picks, and they've managed to play around the game really, really well. Just being able to get Olaf just as far behind as, you know, they could in this game. Oh, that was a very low smite. That could have been a Xerath steal. That was a bit scary there.
Yeah, they had a lot of pressure there to add up to that smite there. A lot of stuff going on. But Ratchkos does manage to get that off there. And now AUG is working with this power play for Baron.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be hard for SNHU to come back. AUG is really going to be pushing their advantage as much as possible, as they've been doing for the entire game. Even when they're behind, AUG's playstyle is to really just push for that little bit more to either even things up or get it in their favor. So it's, especially with the team comp, with Olaf being down, it's a very difficult situation for SNHU. I feel like they could turn it. If SNHU is able to survive until later in the game and then get like one decent pick before an objective, I think SNHU can still win. But it looks like Pancake Man might get caught out here, and Sea-Monsters as well. It looks like they're just going in because they have no other options. They have no disengage tools right now. Olaf doesn't have Flash. He actually has Ghost, so there was no way to get out of that situation. That's just unfortunate, and that might actually close it out for SNHU. Probably not, actually. They do have a couple towers. But yeah, it's gonna be real difficult to come back from this.
Yeah, it is possible. They
Yeah.
definitely have the opportunities to try to look for these shutdowns, but it's been really hard to do that, especially since AUG has been playing as a unit here.
Yeah.
Aatrox has been kind of that unrelenting force in the side lane here, and AUG, as you know, as a four-man there, they still got that front line and they got that back line. It's been really tough to work around that.
Yeah, definitely. As I said before, though, SNHU can come back if they just get a good pick before an objective. You know, as games go on later and later, it really becomes even. Even if someone's down like 10,000 gold, they just get one good pick, one good lucky or well-placed like hook or some sort of crowd control ability on someone who wasn't expecting it. You know, the whole game can flip. Yeah, it's... And SNHU definitely has a team comp to do that. You know, there's certain team comps that when you're down, you just can't come back no matter what you do. I don't see SNHU in that position, but it looks like AUG is going to be picking up the Hextech Drake. Are at soul point right now, so it is going to be a scary situation. I feel like as Dragons go, AUG having two Hex Drakes is really terrifying. Being able to get that on Trundle, Aatrox, Avaris, and Syndra is... Yeah, it's not looking too good. But as I mentioned before, SNHU's goal is really to get a pick before the end of the game. You know, we saw Toxic do it last time with Xerath. We saw him just shoot an ult out, randomly kill someone, you know? And he is pretty far ahead in this game. He does have Ludens. He does have Shadow Flame. So we definitely could see that happen. Looks like AUG, though, is going to be pushing for this top tier 2.
Yeah, they're going to try to siege this. They only have two players here. Shuhao definitely has to get out of here before Sea-Monsters Promo and Pancake Man show up. But they're kind of, I think they're just looking for picks right here. Their jungle is very dark, so they can't really see into what they're walking into here. But neither can they. Shuhao is just walking through it regardless, though, dealing a lot of damage to Pancake Man. He is going to fall there to Pengu.
Yeah, this is very unfortunate. I think at the moment, with Pancake Man down for 28 seconds, it's going to be difficult. They're definitely not going to be able to end the game right now. But the lead's getting larger and larger as the game goes on. You know, they're at a 10,000 gold lead right now, AUG. So, and especially because SNHU doesn't have the ability to get vision in their own jungle. You know, it's really hard to push out a base. And one thing that I'd like to mention as well is that they have no inhibitors down, which actually might have been useful in the past because you get extra gold from super minions. So it might have been good to get back in the game, but no inhibitor was ever taken.
I don't think super minions give you extra gold, but they do offer just a safe place to farm them. You are required to farm those because your Nexus is going to die if you don't. But it does give you a good place to farm them, and you always have a pushing lane towards you.
Yeah. So like one strategy in high level play is to not really take inhibitors until you know you can close out the game, or until the pressure is just too big to really, for them to come back. So it's hard for SNHU to do a lot, but mentioned before, if they can get some good play in general, looks like Schwartz was taken out though. Yeah, this is very unfortunate. Very good for AUG though. AUG played this game extremely well, and as mentioned before, they had such a good strategy of just being able to push for that little bit more at the end of a fight, and just get something off of it. And it only didn't work out really once in the game. Every other time, it's been really, really good strategy. You see SNHU kill someone on AUG's team, and then you see like CMOTS's leave, and then you see AUG just push back in because they know that the jungler's not there, he's already left or something, and are able to get that, as we saw with the extended fight bot lane, and really that misstep in mid lane when AUG failed that. So they played extremely well in this game. Right now, it seems like as far as items go, we are seeing Xerath pick up that death cap, so that might be a huge turning point. But Baron is up, and Xerath doesn't have death cap yet, and it seems like they are going to start forcing this. SNHU did gain more control in their jungle, so this might be doable.
Yeah, I don't. They might look for clearing out vision here before they start anything really serious. And it's going to be kind of hard for SNHU to contest that right now, because I feel like walking into AUG is definitely very tricky with a lot of catch that they have. They have True Profit here with the QE. They also have the Verisalt, so if you overstep a little bit, it's going to be pretty deadly results from AUG.
Yeah, 100%. Really, the play for SNHU was to get Olaf ahead, really, as you said before, to run into that back line, hopefully get something out of it. But they didn't really get that option, and now it's really hard to get into the back line. You have Kai'Sa ult, but you have no other following up damage except for, like, Xerath ult.
Yeah,
So
and now Schwartz has to go match Shuhao since he's creating pressure in this bot lane here. But with the threat of Baron being up, they can't really do a lot about it. And Shuhao is just going to be able to, create that pressure on the bot lane. But both top laners do have teleport, so they will be able to make it to a fight here. Shuhao is very, very, very forward right now. If he's going to get out of there with that blast cone, they could have looked at something there, but it's very hard to, when he has that blast cone there. But the fight is starting right now. Schwartz is going to have to unstoppable through that, but it's not going to be enough. That on hit is just doing so much damage, and then Promo just gets bursted there, and then, it's just cleanup after that. Toxic falls, and that's a quadra kill there for Pengu.
That was very well played by Pengu in that fight, positioning perfectly, with stunning Ornn at or AUG in general, stunning Ornn at the perfect time so that the ult couldn't come out. But they are just so far ahead in general that any front-to-back fight, they're always going to win, and especially with that Hextech Soul, SNHU just had to hope to get out there, but they weren't able to. It was very well played by both players, or both teams, and GG.
Yeah, GG from both of those teams there. I feel like that game definitely AUG played very well. SNHU, really, kept up though for a lot of that game though. So props to them too. But that is going to be the set there for AUG. They take that 2-0 there, a very decisive set from AUG, and that is going to be all of the League of Legends we have for you tonight. We have no more. Sorry, I know you want more. It's very saddening for me to
You can go solo queue at home if you need to.
Yeah, but we are done tonight. If you want to see more, we have our socials, SNHU Esports, at SNHU Esports on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok.
One thing that I'd also like to mention is that Granite State Grind, I believe, is on Sunday this week. So if you want to come down, play some Smash Bros, it is completely open. It is open to the public. You can register right now if you want to on our website. So, come down, play some Smash. It is a tournament. I'm not sure if there's a prize. There might be. Unsure about that. But, yeah, if you want to come down for Granite State Grind, you can do that on Sunday. And, yeah.
Yep, and that's all we have. So
See you tomorrow with some Overwatch.
Peace.
Him there, the ult comes out from Ornn. It is going to connect, and there comes the knock-up, and first
Yeah, that was very well played. Ornn coming out. They might. Oh, they are just able to kill Toxic.
it looks like it might not be enough. Toxic just barely gonna be able to get that Q off, and is in the top lane, and Schwartz is gonna be able to perfectly bait him over to CMOS to land a full combo, and
Yeah, this is gonna. Oh, it looks like Toxic's actually getting engaged on right now. True Prophet does use all the Toxic does use the Zanyas.
yeah, that Zanya is coming in from the vision here. Ratchet goes getting stunned there, but Pancake Man falls pretty early. The ult coming out, and the revive is not in. Sea Monsters just melts there. Roma has no more protection here. It's going to be Schwartz's dash gets canceled there. Sea Monsters very low. He has to revive. Shuhao popping that Zonia's. It might not be enough.
Stopping that engage from Pancake Man, but it looks like on top side, Schwartz is actually might be bursted down by Shuhao. Just barely.
Dashing back with the Q is going to be able to land there. Healing a lot off of Sea Monsters here.
Oh my god.
And he's going to be pulled back to Ratchet. Be enough to. Oh, Ratchet goes so low, but Pancake Man.
They tried giving it to Toxic.
Yeah, not going to secure that there, but the
SNHU might actually lose the fight here. Varsol does come out. Looks like True Prophet is engaging on the Toxic. Toxic does not have the ability to get out at the moment. Does stun True Prophet. It looks like Pancake Man did go down. So R2 is
from
going to
down. And the ult is going to knock both of them up, but Pancake Man is going to try. They're probably going to be able to play wherever he wants around that shield. That's why he's so good in the bundle. And the ultimate from the river there is going to be able to secure the kill. That's that QE there. The ult is going out on someone, and Roma is going to be able to take down. Able to throw that Q. The warning shot. The next Q lands. Both ultimates going out on the shootout.
it looks like SNHU is going to be able to pick up the second rip there on the fight happening.